Are you a woman who's in perimenopause, who is thinking that the weight gain and the things that are going on are just going to be there? I mean, it's just the age, it's just the time, it's just the season. If that's you, but you want to actually find out something even more cool that you could do to help yourself, you're in the right episode. My name is Leslie Urbis. I'm a registered dietitian and a personal trainer who, as you know, is a selfless overachiever in recovery, wholly working on embracing herself and living a full life. And as you also know, we have guests who come in and chat about different things. And today I am so excited to have Dr. Amanda Tracy here to talk to us about this topic with perimenopause. So welcome to the show. How are you?
Oh, I'm fabulous. Thanks for having me.
Good. I love fabulous. I say that all the time. What a great word today. I did not tell her to say that, by the way. However, before this, we were talking and having a great conversation about how so many women just see, okay, I'm 40, so this is normal. Or, I went to the doctor. Oh, even myself, this is a great way to go. I was sitting, I had to go to the OB for whatever reason. I don't remember why I got sent there, but I was like, that's fine. I'll go to OB. I prefer that anyways. And so this was in the summer. And I was 38 years old. And without asking, she literally told me, you are not alone. I am here for you if needed. If you need hormones, if you need this, if your body starts to do crazy things, I'm here for you. And I was like, wow, I didn't even know. I don't even know. Sometimes I don't even really know when perimenopause starts. I don't think I want to know the right age because I want to just stay in tune with my body. But I was just like, wow, she just willingly offered me hormones and help without me asking. And, we were talking about this, you go to the doctor and the doctor chalks it up to age or does that. How do you help women in this way without, oh, you're just 40, get over it,
Mhm. Yeah, I know. Unfortunately, that's the experience a lot of patients have had before they come to me. I'm a naturopathic doctor and I practice functional and integrative medicine. And again, unfortunately, I'm not usually the first stop for a woman dealing with symptoms such as weight gain or fatigue or trouble sleeping. They usually see their primary care or gynecologist first. And sometimes they're told, oh, it's just age. You're not supposed to have as much energy as you used to. Of course, it's stress. You're not sleeping, but they're not offered any solutions.
Mm-hmm.
And the way that I work with women, beyond being a holistic practitioner, is I really like to investigate the underlying causes of what's going on for women. So, yes, as we enter our late 30s and early 40s, we are entering perimenopause usually because that can be 7 or 12 years before menopause. It's different for every woman. But those subtle hormone changes can cause changes in the way we metabolize food, our energy levels, how well we sleep, how our body adapts to stress. And those changes can cause some of those pervasive symptoms like fatigue that you can't really put your finger on. So the primary care doctors don't really investigate that too much. But for me, I like to do alternative labs and track women's hormones throughout their cycle and see their whole pattern, especially if they're still having periods, and look at cortisol levels and even neurotransmitter levels because changes in estrogen and progesterone change our GABA and our dopamine and our serotonin, which can lead to a lot of mood changes or women not feeling quite like themselves or sleep changes. And these are the more functional tests that primary care doctors don't usually do. But I love finding all of those pieces to the puzzle and putting it together for women so that they have a direction and an answer besides, oh, well, it's just another year past, you're older. It's going to continue to get worse. Get used to it. Because that's not the case. There's a lot we can do to help our body heal and help our bodies balance as they're going through change. We're not trying to turn back the clock and do anything that's anti-aging. I mean, I know that's a buzzword, but we really can't do that. The body, we can't turn back time. We can
Mm-mm.
help us age gracefully and age with health and wellness and help us through this transition of hormones that can last, like I said, a decade. So I really love finding those pieces for women and giving them some hope, some motivation, and I mean, guidance, most especially, like exactly what to do for what's going on for them.
I love that. I really think that, we were chatting before this that, when she said that, I was like, I haven't even brought anything up to you. Now, don't get me wrong, I've had some things that I notice with myself, but I also notice how much other things I'm doing, right? Like, you know, how much I've changed. Like somebody was literally like, where were you 10 years ago on a Facebook post today? And I was like, well, let's see, no kids, didn't live in a foreign country, in a really bad relationship, worked for the United States government, you know, like I could go into so many changes in 10 years, right? And so if I'm a woman, like with this, I literally am thinking as you're saying this, I have labs at the doctor's just waiting for me to take, you know, just like basic labs, like, you know, like you know, basic labs that you always get tested. And they always typically test my thyroid because my sister has a thyroid issue.
Mhm.
And uh, he was like, go get your labs drawn. I was like, I don't even think I really want to because it's really not going to mean anything. Like, you know, it's like, does it really show you anything? Like half of these labs don't, right? There's so many. And that's where I think women, you know, they go and they get tested by the doctor and the doctor's like, oh, well, you're just normal. But there's so many other things that we just don't see. So if let's say I was a woman and I was listening, like what other things could like be going on that might be things that you know, I think might just be normal because of age or the doctor's chalking up to age that some of the tests you run would be able to tell them.
Yeah. I mean, and you're right. A lot of your annual primary care labs, those aren't really functional health labs. Those are looking at if you have a disease or if your organs are breaking down. So
Mm-hmm.
yes, they're important on some level, but they don't necessarily give you a picture of health. They're just really
Right.
organ
That's why I'm
failure,
like, I feel
disease.
good. But anyways, go ahead.
That's why they think, look, the labs are good. You're fine, but you're not
Yeah,
feeling fine. You're feeling, altered. Um,
totally.
so the things that I look at is for a woman that may be noticing signs of early perimenopause, she may still be getting periods, but they might be closer together or slightly heavier, or PMS symptoms that used to just be a couple days, now might be 7 or 8 days before your period. So it's a very subtle shift. Most women, if it affects their energy levels are down, or if they're starting to gain weight or not sleeping as well, those are the symptoms that usually bring them into the doctor's office, not necessarily the subtle changes in their periods. But by the time women come to see me, it's usually sleep changes and mood changes, feeling more irritable, maybe more anxious at different times of the month or times of their cycle. Or a lot of women have an IUD or they're on birth control pills, so they don't really know where their cycle is, but then they have the other symptoms of like the energy changes and sleep and mood, and they're kind of like not sure what's going on because their cycle's being covered up by the IUD or the pill. So the types of tests that I do depend on the situation for the woman. If she's not on any IUD or pill, where like I said, we can track hormones throughout a whole cycle and see really like where the balance is with ovulation and before your period and that luteal phase, which is where a lot of PMS symptoms start to happen and perimenopause changes happen, and make sure that things are balanced. But looking at, we can do urine tests to look at melatonin levels, cortisol levels, which is stress hormone, also GABA and dopamine and serotonin and other neurotransmitters that aren't as famous that all play a role because your neurotransmitters are either excitatory or relaxing, and then all need to be in balance. So we don't necessarily want to have like all exciting ones or all relaxing ones. So they need to be like ready to act at any point. So we're looking for that balance in the urine test there too. And I also do saliva cortisol levels too, because a lot of women I see are under chronic stress or even acute stress, and our adrenal glands that make cortisol also can make progesterone. And so in perimenopause, when our ovaries are making less progesterone, if our adrenal glands aren't picking up the slack, women will have more symptoms and more like severe perimenopause transition. So we're always checking the adrenal gland health and cortisol levels too. So there's a
Yeah,
lot
that's
to
so
look at.
interesting. It is. And what's funny is I literally just watched, I don't even know because, you know, Instagram just feeds you certain things, but I watched this Instagram thing that came across of why women need even more sleep than men because our adrenal glands are responsible for our hormones, whereas men can get their hormones from their testicles. And I was like, meanwhile, Leslie over here has been sleeping 4 to 6 hours for the majority of her life. So it was one of those like, huh, well, that's interesting.
Yes.
Like that just makes you feel tired when you read that. Like, oh, okay. I was supposed to be sleeping all this time. Anyways, um, to go to just one question that really popped into my head. So let's say I'm a woman listening to this and I'm like, okay, well, where is she located? How would I be able to work with her? I'm not located with her. How do you work with people so that way they know?
My practice is all telemedicine, so I work with women online across the United States. I'm based in California. I'm licensed in California and Massachusetts because I had a practice in Massachusetts for 16 years before moving to California. So I do see a lot of patients in New England and the East Coast and in California. But a lot of women that see me are from other states where they don't have integrative medicine or naturopathic doctors near them. So they're looking for that alternative medicine, but don't have anyone like close enough to them. So they're looking online, and I'm able to help them. I am able to order lab tests for women in other states and supplements, and everything is online. So a lot of the lab tests women, like I said, they're doing saliva or urine, so they're doing them at home, but we can also run blood tests too.
Cool. That's awesome. That's awesome. So where can they find you if they want to know more?
Yes, so the best place to find me is my website, dramandatracy.com. I'm also on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube at Amanda Tracy ND. I like to post lots of educational videos and tips like similar to what we talked about today, just so women are kind of have these things on their mind and they know what to look out for, because perimenopause is sneaky. It kind of like just slowly generates over a few years, and all of a sudden you're in this place of like all these symptoms happening and you feel like it's all at once, but it really kind of like slowly trickles in over the course of a few years. So I love women to be like aware of what to look out for.
Yeah, I love that for sure. And you guys can find her website located right below this. So that way you can go check her out. I know I definitely will when needed, especially when, even referring people to you, I think it would be fabulous. So thank you so much for being a guest. Is there any final words you want to leave them with?
Well, first of all, thank you for having me. I love this conversation. And I guess when you go to your doctor or gynecologist, to not accept the reason for your symptoms to be just your age. Like,
I
definitely
love it.
find a cause besides aging. Because a lot of women are
I
told
love
it's
that.
just their age if they're over 40, but men aren't told this. So we need to fight
Right.
back and find the real cause.
Agreed. I love that. That's a great way to end. So fight back, find the real cause. Of course, if you're watching, like, share, and subscribe to the channel, to the podcast, to everything. And I will see you guys all on the next episode. Thank you so much, and bye for now.